I want to call to order the Strategic Planning Committee meeting on Monday, December 5th, 2011. With that, Councilman Kluart will say the prayer and we'll follow by the pledge.
Everyone please stand. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, we ask some special blessings on the Arsenault family tonight for the loss of their father, son, cousin, Mr. Kerry Arsenault, long-term retired parish employee. We also like blessings on the Cassard family for the loss of Miss Bernice Cassard, mother of Dale Cassard, and all that family. Lord, let's take care of everybody in Ascension Parish through the holidays, through the travels. Let's not forget the reason for the season. We ask you this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. We'd have some special blessings from Mr. Shake Snyder.
Okay. Yes, we'll talk about that shortly. Yeah. We now have the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, as Mr. Kluart said, I had some special intentions. I had something I promised. I wanted to say a special hello to my longtime neighbor as we grew up, Miss Geneva Lanou, who watches us on a regular basis. And I just wanted to say hello to you, Miss Geneva. And then wishing a quick recovery, some family members. My mom, who is recovering from illness, and is now back at home. My Aunt Catherine, who's in the hospital recovering from an illness, and my Uncle Nolte, and my wife's mom, Miss Leola, who is recovering in the hospital. We wish them all a speedy recovery. Been an interesting few weeks.
Yes, indeed.
Public comment period. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak on any agenda item, welcome to fill out a form and come up here and discuss. With that, we go to number 4, discussion of burning in Ascension Parish. What we've done is this is an issue that has been ongoing in the parish. Is what do we do with our waste? What do we do with our material we have that's not garbage? How do we handle that? We have a rural parish that's some areas are very suburban and close to people, and we have some areas that's very spread out, and we want to retain our rural character. And so we want to continue to have these discussions and leads eventually to some type of happy solution, maybe a combination of something. We don't expect anything to occur at any point in time soon. We want to make sure that this is a long thing that's thought out, and that we gradually get some solutions without harming people that want to do things on their own property. We respect that very much. But we also want to allow people to express the problems. One of them tonight that we have, Ms. Velma LeBove. Please, Ms. Velma, come on up, and want to make sure that people know some of the problems that we are having in the parish. Thank you.
Okay, the burning, like people bringing trees and stuff from other property and burning it in Ascension Parish. And this is not small quantities, it's large, it's truckloads.
You talking about a commercial endeavor, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have asthma, I have emphysema, I'm on oxygen at night. I can't come out of my house when they're burning this. I have to stay inside because of the smoke. It's just terrible. My daughter, her daughter, all my grandchildren are asthmatic. So we have to all just stay inside when they're burning this material because it's just an awful smell. And I'm just wondering if we got anything against that. I'm not against people burning leaves and clean up their yard and stuff. I'm not against that. I'm against the people bringing this into our parish and burning it. And then we have to, stay inside while they're doing this. That's what I want to know, what we can do about this situation.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know the rule in place at this point in time. We will find out for you.
I appreciate
And
it.
if you could leave your contact information with Ms. Myra here.
Okay.
And we will find out what your recourses are. I do think there's something with commercial endeavors that limits them, and they should be probably either grinding or hauling off their material, but I don't know, so I don't know I can't tell you something right now.
That's what we're here for, to
We
find
will-
out what can be done.
We will research that for you, and we will get back with you and
Because
follow
we
up
burn
on it.
leaves and stuff. All rural area do that. I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
that's-
We're not looking to stop anybody
No,
from
that's
burning
what I'm
things in their
saying.
yard.
I'm not wanting to stop them from burning leaves and
Conversation,
stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Thompson?
Have y'all called DEQ to come out while they was burning and the smoke
No,
was?
we didn't know who to get in touch with. I've just been staying inside.
I think that would be the first place to go to.
Okay. Okay.
It's-
And if it's commercial, they may have a permit to burn it.
Yes.
I don't know. I'll need to check into that too also.
Ricky, we follow the state guidelines. Do you know anything?
We had a case similar to this probably 2 years ago where we had a complaint that a commercial business was hauling in lumber and burning it, and the neighbors around it were complaining. We made our interpretation, and that went to the Board of Adjustments, and the Board of Adjustments ruled in favor of the property owner because we don't have anything with regards to burning in this parish. And we declared that it was a commercial business in a residential area, and they were stockpiling the wood, and their claim was, well, we hold the wood until the weather conditions are best for burning, and then we burn it. If you guys go against us, we will burn it the second it falls off our truck. And so the Board of Adjustments basically says, until there's something that directs how to burn in this parish, we can't tell them not to do it because there's nothing against it.
Okay.
So.
Is this material on their own property they're burning, or they're hauling this in from other properties 5 and 6 loads?
Yes, ma'am. This was a tree cutting service that would go out and cut trees and haul the debris to their property and then burn it on their property.
I think Ms. LeBob
Something
has
has to be
basically the
done. I
same,
can't
that's the
take
same
it.
issue that she has right here.
I can't take that anymore, all that burning. My grandkids are sick. We're in the doctor's office all the time. I mean, something has to be done.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean,
We're
I
gonna.
can't- I mean, I can't live in my house because he's got a tree service.
Yes, ma'am. And we certainly want to do something about your concern. I think that's a different entity from.
I mean, yeah,
This
'cause
is not
if
a
he was
residential
cleaning off his
homeowner.
property and burning his own trees, that's fine. I mean, he's got, way in the back he can go even,
Yes, ma'am.
as far as that, I mean.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave my name, and I am gonna try to get a hold of the.
Yes, ma'am. And we thank you very much to bring that to our attention.
I just want some information.
And we have had other people that come by tonight that certainly wishes to be able to continue to burn in their yards, and we wish to continue to allow that personal debris and things that are in their yards. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We will continue this discussion as we go each month. Ms. Beth is our CEO, and she is doing some research on that. And we're also trying to find out how much it's going to cost if the parish would want to get into debris removal, whether we have some trucks like Gonzales does that goes around and pick up debris. And we're getting cost estimates right now. I had hoped to have estimates to be made public as of this point in time, but we don't have that complete yet. Hopefully we'll have it by next month. So we're looking for some solutions. We want to let everybody know, and we also have some proposals by some different garbage people that are in the works, local and otherwise. So there's a lot of things we're trying to get done and try to make it where it's a happy medium for everybody's wishes in the parish.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Ms. Belvin, Mr. Ray.
Very
Same
Okay.
to you.
Number 5, amendment of Ascension Parish subdivision regulations, section 17405 D2. Ricky?
Yes, sir. Last month or the month before, we talked about this, and what you guys asked me to do was to bring back a couple of examples for the different sizes of the signs. And so what I've got here is three different paper copies, and then the actual version of the sign that we currently use. This is the sign that's currently posted for a zoning change or a Board of Adjustment hearing. This measures 24 inches by 30 inches. And if you can recall, the original proposed sign amendment was 4 feet by 6 feet. So considerably larger than this. The first version that we put in front of you for a revision said 4 feet by 4 feet. And when you look at this, that's almost twice this size.
Right.
So I'm not sure that it even needs to be that large. But let me show you a couple of these sample sizes so you can get an idea of what we're talking about.
That's a 3 by 3.
That's what
This
you
is
got
going to be your 3 feet by 3 feet.
there. Okay. And that would be the size of the writing?
We could modify it if we wanted to, but what I told Kib to do is just take the same stuff that we currently use and just put it on the bigger signs so that we get an idea of how much real estate we're talking about. So that's
Okay.
3 feet by 3 feet. And this is going to be 3 feet by 4 feet.
Okay.
And the proposed ordinance that you have in front of you says you'd have 2 of these facing each direction of the travel way. So the road, in theory, would be on this side. You'd have a sign facing me, a sign facing you. So no matter which way you're driving down the road, you would see the sign, as opposed to today, we post the properties like this.
Right.
And so you see it as you sort of go by and you turn your head. So,
It would be back to back?
yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's 3 feet by 3 feet, 3 feet by 4 feet, or 2 feet by 30 inches.
Okay,
And
and-
we can do these in any size because the signs we're going to have the signs custom printed, and then the applicants will simply purchase the sign from us, and we'll give them the sticker like we currently do for the date of the actual hearing.
Okay. I think that makes sense, and that keeps people from having to go and purchase expensive signs, and we still have something that's recognizable. And we still would have the same color.
Correct,
Yeah.
and they would look standard for all public
what you
hearings.
Okay.
The other thing that we did tweak in your packet, section C 1A, the question was, what if the division of property is on a public road, like a family partition? So what I did is I tweaked the language of A to read, signs must be no more than 10 feet from the access way, meaning public or private, and I added, and free of any physical obstruction that could obscure visibility of the signs.
So you won't be able to see them.
I want to be able to see them.
Okay.
So that language was tweaked, and then I simply highlighted on my version so that we could have this discussion what the sign size is. So it currently states sign must be a minimum of 4 feet by 4 feet in size. I would like to suggest we go to 24 inches by 30 inches and just keep the sign standard. If we want to go to something larger, I just need you guys to pick a sample and we'll go from there.
I think we can go to that medium size.
I'm gonna tell you, I've seen some of the signs. I think that sign that you're recommending is plenty big enough.
Okay.
You talking about the middle?
Yes, the
Yeah.
24 by 30, I think.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. If we have them back to back, though?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That the ordinance stays the same with respect to how it's going to be displayed. The question was, how big is it?
Okay.
And if it's 24 by 30, I think we maintain the landscape orientation, meaning side to side, and you just will mount them to I think we said a 6-foot pole, maintain the height so that the signs will be off the ground a significant height so you can see them, but they'll be back to back so you can read it from both directions.
Okay.
And the sticker that's going to give the date and the time of the meeting and everything, that's the sticker that's going on that is the same size print?
This language is our standard language.
I
We're going
know.
to tweak the language. So the time won't be a sticker. The date is basically a white sticker with black type on it. So it's printed out of our permit department. It's what we
Right.
use for building permits. And
Yeah, I've seen them.
we print those dates, and so they'll be the right size.
Okay. Want to entertain a motion?
I make that motion. To
Motion
move to the council with.
motion to send this to
Send the amended version to the council. I'll get
amended
that amended
version
version
to
to
the
send them in tomorrow morning.
That'll be fine. Second by Mr. Thompson.
And
Any discussion?
one last thing, Ricky, the first sentence, you got 17405, that's 2 a D? Just,
The way our code currently breaks out is so that we can identify sections. So this is section 17405, subsection D, subsection 2.
okay.
So all of section 2 is amended with this language.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any further discussion? Any objection? So move, Miss. Send the amended version to council. Number 6, amendment to Ascension Parish subdivision regulation, section 174092.
During the last meeting, the primary discussion item that we had was whether or not the appeal should go to the council or go to the appeals board. And that's what we wanted you guys to put some thought into. If an application is denied by the commission, do you guys want the council to hear that appeal or keep the established appeals board and keep the council out of that?
They need to go to the council. Not the appeal board, not if the planning and zoning committee have turned it down. The council need to take a look at it. You don't need no councilman if the appeal board, everybody make the decision except you.
There's difference of opinions on it. We've been having an appeals board. One of the things, Ricky, can you talk about some of the problems that we're having now with, that we want to try to address as having, that you're addressing with the
Yes, sir.
proposal?
The current appeal process is vague, and that's what led to the commission to introduce their proposed amendment. The amendment that they proposed creates somewhat of a roundabout route that the applicants have to go through. So, for example, if Joe Prairieville submits an application to the commission and the commission denies that application, they then have to submit an application for an appeal. That application has to be approved or denied, and then the following month, the planning commission will hear the appeal. And if that's denied, then they go to the appeals board. The revised version simply states any decision that the planning commission makes can be appealed directly to the appeals board, and the appeals board is established in the code as a 3-member panel that reviews the case and makes a decision, and that decision's final. The discussion that we had last month was simply, do we want to keep the appeals board as that board that hears those appeals, or do we want that to go to the council? The council's going to have to do the homework, have to do the legwork, and then you're going to have that public hearing on that appeal.
Mm-hmm. And what you're looking at doing is, we have areas that are not appealable, not right now.
Correct. Currently, the way the code is written, you can only appeal a major subdivision, and the revision that was submitted doesn't really, a major or minor, it doesn't address historic sites, it doesn't address business parks, it doesn't address some other minor things. But
And those were things that were put into the zoning after the original ordinance was written.
when it was conceived, correct.
And so therefore they wasn't considered. And so that, what has happened, we've evolved into something that we have no solution for.
Yes, sir.
And this is something we can look at. If you're not comfortable with, we can hold over
I'd like to take a
and
look at it
have
a little bit
discussions.
longer.
Ms. Thompson, do you have any? Because I think this is coming back from last meeting. We're not in a hurry to do anything on this. This was what was brought back from last meeting. We can take a look at this, study it, and bring it out to our next strategic planning meeting, if that's the consensus of
Motion
this.
to move to the next stage planning meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Thompson, second by Mr. Kluat. Any discussion? Any objection? Myra, we're gonna put that on the next meeting agenda with the information as written, and please get a copy to whoever is going to be on the strategic planning meeting committee for the next meeting. And number 7, revision to Land Development Code, Section 172090-R. Ricky?
I have been asked
Explain the
on
background.
multiple occasions what the process is to revise the development code. And currently, as the code is written, if the council wishes to amend a piece of code, that language has to go through the zoning commission. The question was, is there a way to speed that up? And I said, the only way to speed that up is to amend the code to allow the council to amend the code. And so this language was merely just a suggestion for how you would do that. The first idea was establish a new council subcommittee that could do that, or use the existing strategic planning committee to be the committee that sends those recommendations to the council. So once again, this came out of no less than 3 conversations I had with different councilmen of how can we edit the code. And the answer was you have to amend the code to make you guys available or allowable to amend the code. So this was just a first blush idea. Once again, this is another one of those things that there is no rush because there's nothing pressing. There's no reason why you would have to do this right away. But the question was, how can the council amend the code? And the answer was you can't. You have to go through the zoning commission to do that.
And this is something that continually comes up, councilmen are looking for ways to move something for whatever reason through their process, and then right now there is no process for councilmen to do that. We can make ordinances, but right now you cannot. So again, something to take a look at, study it, and do your research on it.
Well, I
Any
guess
other-
you move that to the next agenda for the next.
Well,
I
it was-
got a quick question.
It was,
for you.
it was for bringing it out.
It's basically you said it's the only way that the code can be amended is through the zoning commission.
Yes, sir.
And what's the process to get that in front of the zoning commission or?
So today, the way the code is written, an amendment to the code can be started in one of 3 ways. An applicant can come to us and request a change. The zoning commission can start the request, they can
Right.
start the change, or the council can request that the zoning commission do something. That's what happened a few months ago when we did the resolution for them to hold a public hearing. That's the only 3 ways that the code can be
I
amended.
just wanted to clear that up.
Yes, sir. And so that essentially adds 60 to 90 days to the process by forcing it to go back through that process. And I don't think that this is something that you would even use on a regular basis, but the example that I can give you off the top of my head is the industrial definitions that, Mike Eade spoke to this committee about probably 8 months ago, still hasn't come forward to the council. And that's just because the zoning subcommittee never could come to an agreement over what they wanted the definitions to be, how they wanted the map to change. If that's something the council just wanted to do and take on and affect change, they have to go through the zoning commission to do it.
I just wanted that point brought out. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? Myra, put that on the agenda. Number 8,
Motion adjourned.
Second.
motion by Ms. Thompson, second by Mr. Kluat. This meeting is hereby adjourned.